If you still think ICT doesn't work, this video is about to change your mindset forever. Last week, Nasdaq moved exactly according to smart money's plan. And the crazy part? Those moves were visible before they even happened. In this video, I'm going to show you how you could have spotted these moves early using pure ICT logic, instead of getting trapped like retail traders. I personally trade Nasdaq on the 1-minute to 5-minute time frames. But first, I want to take you to the 1-hour chart, so you can understand the bigger picture, the algorithm story. Then we'll drop down to the 1-minute chart and break down my real trades from last week. If you watch this video till the end, you'll never look at the market the same way again. Okay, let's go into it. On the 1-hour time frame, after liquidity was taken from higher time frame levels, the algorithm created a FVG, then came back to trade that imbalance, and dropped again to grab the previous low. Right at that low, it formed an SMT divergence. While Dow Jones didn't take the low, Nasdaq did. Now here's the key point. What is the algorithm's real job? Liquidity engineering. Taking liquidity and rebalancing inefficient zones like FVGs. And in this case, it did all of them at the same time. That means the move was balanced. The zone was supposed to be closed. Price should not have returned there. But instead, it came back, broke through the BPR zone with a fresh displacement, and even created a higher high, a structure break. That's it. Clean. Beautiful. One of the best entries you'll ever see. That was a clean, high probability trade. Now watch this, we have a clear DRT level, and price did not reach the order block from above. The London session was pure accumulation. At the New York Open, price dropped into the discount leg of the move. And right there, we had a FVG. From that point, the expansion to the upside started. This is the 1-hour time frame. Now let's drop down to the 1-minute and 5-minute charts and study the exact reaction inside the FVG zone. Now on the 5-minute Nasdaq time frame. From a price perspective, everything looked perfect. A clean setup formed after the FVG was violated, an IFVG formed, and the higher high confirmed a market structure shift. We jumped in once a new FVG formed. But the real key here isn't price. It's time. Let's go to the 1-minute chart for a clearer view. From the point where the story begins, the algorithm trades into the inefficient FVG, takes the low, which later becomes a BPR, then comes back and breaks through it, while simultaneously confirming a CIST, a change in delivery of price. Now pay attention to the macro time windows. At what time did the best entries appear? The start times of the macro time frame. Between 9:50 and 10:10 and between 10:50 and 11:10. And these times are interesting. I always say, timing is everything. This setup only works when the time is aligned. Focus on this, and you can build your life from the charts. Right price. Right time. Alright, let's review my Nasdaq trade from December 2nd. On the 4-hour chart, I noticed an FVG along with equal highs. Let's see how the price reacted around this area. The price touched this zone after taking out liquidity, then formed an SMT with the Dow Jones by making a lower low. At the same time, it created a breakaway gap that lined up perfectly with an IFVG. Looking at the bigger picture, all my entry confirmations were in place. My plan was to target sell-side liquidity on the way down, aiming for the 4-hour order block and the 1-hour FVG I had marked. I placed my order at the breakaway gap, and the trade was triggered. This setup allowed me to take an SMR trade with strong alignment to the macro time frame. So, in short, it was a clean entry with all the conditions perfectly aligned. Now, since our target was key PDA levels, the 4-hour order block and the 1-hour FVG give us another potential entry here. I personally didn't take this trade because I had already hit my daily reward, but I journaled it and wanted to share it. Once the price closes above the last low, we can look for a new entry. Why? Because this area is important and has strong confirmations, an MSS, a CISD, and a small IFVG overlapping with an FVG. This overlap creates a BPR that we could trade from. Alright guys, the trade we're reviewing now is from December 3rd, on the 1-minute chart. As you know, the London session high and low during the Asia session are very important. I've clearly marked them on my chart, and I use them for both entries and targets. Here, when the price reached the London high, it got rejected. Then, after a close below the most recent low, our MSS, market structure shift, was confirmed. At the same time, CISD was also confirmed, showing a clear shift in order flow and trend direction. We then marked the newly formed FVG and placed our order. Price triggered the entry and consolidated briefly inside the FVG. The most interesting part. As soon as the macro session started, the real move, the big sell-off, began. This is why I always emphasize timing. Right after the macro session started, a BPR formed, which could have been used as a second entry opportunity. Price reached my target at the London low and even went further. But we're not trying to catch the entire move, this was more than enough. Here's another clean Nasdaq entry from December 3rd. After a strong displacement, an FVG zone formed on the chart. Price retraced to fill that inefficiency and respected the zone perfectly. After respecting the FVG, the bearish move failed to continue, and price closed above the previous high, confirming a market structure shift. Inside this area, an IFVG also formed, giving us a very precise entry opportunity. On top of that, a new FVG developed within the IFVG, creating our BPR zone. These BPR zones are some of the most accurate and high probability entries. As soon as price touched this zone, the real upside expansion began. Notice how this move aligned perfectly with the macro session. This is exactly where the true strength of this setup shows up. Clean entry. Clear logic. Professional execution. And here are my last Nasdaq trades from Friday, December 6th. I hope you can see how similar all my trades are. By knowing just a few key ICT concepts, you can easily set up your own trades. Here, I had similar confirmations as in previous trades, like MSS, FVG, IFVG, and timing. I planned my entry based on these. At first, my order didn't get triggered because price didn't return to the FVG, so I waited for a reentry. Later, as another FVG and IFVG formed, I placed my order again, and this time it got activated, taking me down to the 930 low. This trade is a classic market maker sell model setup. And here's my second trade on December 6th, which is completely clear and very similar to my previous trades. All of them follow the same routine, almost like a copy of each other. I hope this video has helped you understand that for trading, you just need to follow your discipline and rules. There's no need for confusing or unclear setups. Most importantly, always consider the concept of timing in your trades. Good luck!